That was quick.
When in doubt, I'll dive on the grenade. Um, Seems to be a little inconsistency game to game in your team shooting. How much of that is opponents, and how much of that is factors that you'd like to correct?
Well, I think a lot of it is who you're playing, the the defensive styles teams play, but there is part of it that we've got to be a little bit more patient at the offensive end. At times we rush some shots, and that's something we've got to work on, which we have been, and we have seen improvements. Uh, but like I expect tomorrow night, I don't I expect it to be a very intense defensive game from both teams. Yeah, I'd love to score 70 points. I'd love to score 80, but I'm not really anticipating that tomorrow night.
So how big was the last two offensive games for Haley going into this game with her really break out in the on the offensive end?
Well, I think she's been shooting the ball well ever since we started ACC play. She's been seeing the ball go in the basket, shooting it with confidence, taking shots that she takes in practice, which is a big part of improving our shooting percentage. Is continue to take shots you're taking in practice. If all of a sudden you're out there shooting something you normally don't practice, the percentages aren't going to be very good. And then we've got to continue to work on finishing around the basket. We've got to finish with contact. Um, you know, Both guards and posts. We've missed some bunnies, as they say. That if we make them, the next thing you know, you're shooting 45% instead of 41. So those are areas that we have to continue to work on, which we do in practice.
When you're facing a conference opponent that you're likely to face at least twice more, maybe three times,
Very possibly.
are there things you hold back, things that you don't want to show this early in the season?
No, we won't hold anything back or try not to show anything because part of it is if you get the opportunity to play them again, I'm wanting to know how are they going to try to attack the different things we're going to do. Um, you might do that in a game where, okay, we might only play them one other time. It might be in a Final Four. It might be just, one other possibility of playing them. There's a chance we could play them two more times for sure. So we're not going to try to hold anything back just in case there's that opportunity. Because I want to know, if we try some new offensive sets or offensive schemes, how are they going to guard it so then we can get prepared to make changes and adjustments for the next time we play.
Jeff, you talk about this being a defensive game. You have mentioned the defensive impact that Engstler has had on your team. Could you talk about that and just kind of her overall versatility and what she's brought to this club?
Yeah, Emily's long. She anticipates extremely well at the defensive end of the floor. Her instincts are as good as we've had since Angel McCautry. Uh, she reads the weak side. She reads the passing angle. She baits you in to throwing a pass, and then she attacks it. She has been a huge asset, obviously, to our program. But as good as she is on the defensive end of the floor, she passes the ball extremely well too. When we've won our big games, it's because she's had 3, 4, 5 assists and made some big time passes. So not only does she do it at the defensive end, but she is just as important for us at the offensive.
It's kind of along those lines. Can you tell when you're bringing in a player who's got experience like her pretty quickly how well they will adjust and do the kind of things you want them doing out there?
Well, we had played against her 4 or 5 times. So when you have firsthand experience of playing against someone within your league as many times as we had, we knew what Emily was going to be able to do. I think the biggest challenge we had was trying to just how was she going to adjust from being in a system that played zone probably 95% of the time to a system that's going to play man. And she's really handled that well and has done some really, really good things for us.
What is it most concerns you about this matchup?
Well, their ability to shoot the basketball from all 5 spots. I think they've got 4 starters that are shooting plus 40% from the three-point line. They bring in Diamond Johnson off the bench, who's shooting 42 or 43% also from the three-point line. So they do a really nice job of spreading you out and going 4 out, 1 in. So we've got to make sure that we turn it into a 5-on-5 game. We can't let them get out in transition and get transition threes. We've got to box them out. And then we've got to be there on the catch. We have to do a good job of guarding the basketball, because if we get beat throughout the game and we have to help, then that's when your problems come in. Because as soon as I've got to help off a shooter, they're very good passers, and now it's just becoming a game of catch and shoot. And we can't allow that to happen.
Jeff, Kiana's been shooting the ball very well the last couple of games. How much confidence does she have right now, and how much confidence do her teammates have in her at the moment?
Well, obviously, she's shooting the ball extremely well. Her teammates have a ton of confidence in her, and she has a bunch in them. I mean, the thing about it is, as a team, I think we're shooting 45% from the field. If we can shoot 45% tomorrow night, I like our chances. I'll see what we can do. We just can't have a game where we're in the 30s. That's where you're going to get in trouble. And then we've got to be able to make threes. This is a game they challenge you to make threes, and you're going to have to be ready to shoot it and take good ones. And we have been shooting the ball well in practice. I think we've shot it pretty consistent in games, and we're going to need that tomorrow night.
This rivalry is obviously becoming it's a great game every single time you guys play each other. How big is it for the league to have, these constant rivalries, whether it's you guys in Notre Dame a few years ago, and now it seems like NC State Louisville seems to be the one?
Yeah, I think it's great for our league. I mean, you look at ACC women's basketball, and we've had 7 teams that have been ranked in the top 25. I mean, out of 15, that's not too bad. So our league's as competitive as any league out there. And then you've got to show up to play every single night. That's what makes this fun. Thursday night's game is big. I mean, there's no question about it. It's on national TV. It's on ESPN. A lot of eyeballs are going to be on it. But Sunday's game against Wake is just as big, because it don't matter what you do on Thursday night if you lay an egg in your next game. And that's one of the things that we've talked to our players about is you can't put everything in this basket thinking, if we win Thursday night, we're going to the Final Four. We're winning this league. You're not. There's too many good teams. So you've got to use this as a stepping stone to figure out, where are we? How good are we right now? Because we're going up against a team that I think is as good as any team in the country. And like I said, they've got 3 players, what I call COVID kids, for the fact that you get an extra year because of the COVID year. So you've got Perez at the point. You've got Kai Crutchfield and Kayla Jones, who have all 3 started for the past 2 years. And now you get that extra year, extra experience, and they've got Kunane in the post. Jada Boyd coming off the bench plays a ton for him as well. You've got a really, really deep team. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun for us as coaches, fun as players. And then you get to evaluate, where are you? It's like I say it all the time. It's the one thing I love about the sport of basketball is no matter what takes place on Thursday night, we're playing on Sunday. Where football, it's like you're waiting a week, and if you got a bye week, it's 2 weeks. So the fun thing is you got to be able to mentally come into this game, which I've been very pleased with how we practiced, and then compete as hard as you can. We'll sit there on Thursday night on the way back. We'll look at film. We'll watch it. We'll talk about it. And then Friday at 1, it's prep for Wake Forest. There's no celebrating if you win, and there's no crying if you lose. You just got to get right back on the bike.
You mentioned ESPN, and I don't know that you've weighed in on the Muffet-Gino spat.
Authority.
Wonder if you'd like to choose a side in that debate.
Well, I don't – listen, I just speak facts. I don't think there's any side to pick. I think at times I always say in today's day and age, you have to be really careful at what you say. I have, and we've had wonderful conversations. But like you have to be careful at what everything's recorded. There's facts for everything. You know, when you say that there's a program who's won more, nobody's won more than UConn. It is what it is. They've won 11 national championships. I mean, so if you're saying there's a program that's won more, they've won, done better, they haven't. UConn is at the top. There's no argument to be made. If I don't care where they're located, ESPN's going to put them on TV. You know, we're located here in Louisville, and I think for how many years have our men's basketball, this been one of the hotbeds for viewing of basketball games. You know, you always talk about TV viewership in the city of Louisville. I don't think we're close to Bristol. I mean, my geography's not great, but it's not bad. So if you win, they're going to cover you. It's that simple. You know, you all are here today. It's not, I mean, because I think we win. I mean, if we were 1-15, I'm not sure anybody'd be here. I'd be talking to myself. Yeah. So they've done it because of the players he's been able to bring in. And he coaches. He's an excellent coach. And it is what it is. You know, I see South Carolina a bunch on TV now too, because Don's done a great job. I don't think they're close to Bristol. So if you win, you're going to get on TV. Our game on Thursday nights on ESPN, because it's two teams that have won. And it's not like we've just won for the past 4 months. We're programs that have been perennially very good. So there's just some things I think you say and some you don't, and just my opinion. I'll leave it at that.
So y'all are averaging 21 turnovers a game.
Solid.
And most of it's because of really fast, sloppy starts. How do you have to change the beginning of the game tomorrow night to make sure that it don't get out of hand?
Well, I mean, I think for the past 7 games, I've let Coach Purcell be in charge of the first quarter. And that obviously has not worked out well for me. No. You know what? I mean, we just have to be more patient. We get excited. We're ready to get that thing moving. We want that, ball to get up and down the floor, and sometimes we get carried away. So we sit there, we break down film, and we show them. And we know the importance of taking good shots, taking care of the ball. We are going to turn the ball over some, because we are going to try to push in transition. And if you want your team to get out and run in transition, you're going to have to be okay at times if you turn it over. But we've got to get that number. Our goal is about 12 a game. If we turn it over 12 times a game, I'm happy with that. Because some of them are unforced as well. Some you bounce off a foot. Somebody does play some good defense. But if we could get it to 12, we're at 15 a game right now. But if we could get it to 12, I'd be thrilled with that, because we are forcing close to 22. So that's our goal.
With the NIL jerseys now available for Haley, you have any concerns that could create jealousies on the team?
No, not one bit. We address all of it. We talk about everything up front, Tim. And life's not fair. We tell them that all the time. Life's just not fair. Everybody's not going to get the same thing. Everybody's not going to have a jersey to be sold. Everybody's not going to get straight A's. Everybody's not going to be a good three-point shooter. And I might practice as much as the next kid, and it might not happen for me. Haley's got an unbelievable following on social media. Her work ethic, the amount of time she puts in this gym is impressive as any player I've ever coached. And it is what it is. And she's also a great teammate. And that's part of it too. It's, we're sitting there, my wife and I are watching that Tom Brady series right now. And we're just finishing the first one, and just when he took the starting job over, And it's just interesting to see how they sit there and they talk about, God, if he was a bad person, it'd be easy to hate him. You know, and that's Haley. She's a good person. She's a great teammate. Her teammates like her. She likes them. So they're excited for her. It's like anything in life. No, everything's not going to be the same. But I think it's a valuable lesson for all kids. You know, we're talking about wanting to make this to where players get paid. Eventually, one day, when you hear all the pundits out there talking about college athletes should get paid. Well, not everybody's going to get paid the same. You know, and then are you able to cut him? Can I trade you? You know, can I call Tim in the office, say, Tim, by the way, you're going to New Mexico next week. I've traded you. You know, so there is a lot of things that just aren't fair. But we have talked about it as a staff, you know, and I think that's the important thing, that we address everything with our players so there's no surprises. And we have not had an issue at all with any of it. We've had some players get some NIL deals, some for a certain amount, others for a certain amount, and they've all been excited for each other. I'm still waiting for my first.
I asked you this kind of tongue-in-cheek the other day. You're at 400. Can you catch Tara?
I would say no. She's at what, 1,000 and 1138. So that would mean she'd have to stop coaching right now. And what, I'm going to have to 3 times it? So that means I'd have to do this for another 45 years. I've been doing it for 15, so it'd be another 45. So at 95. 30. I need 3. Well, another 30. Yeah, no. I just don't. I'm not sure I'm not sure at 80. I'm going to be very effective out there. So and that's if she quits right now, and I don't think she's quitting. It does not appear she's quitting. So yeah. Now if I could throw in those wins I had as a 7th grade coach, I'd be up to about 414. So I'd be closer. I think we're 7-3. The one, I think I got the plaque upstairs that they gave me. So I'll check on those and see if we can add those wins to my total. Guys, I appreciate y'all. Always a good laugh. Make sure the mics are off.